So, we made the trail across the property, the first leg of it. We got food. Water out of classy glasses. Oxamite, because we're going to leave today, is not allowed off the leash. Because she goes out, finds a place she wants to hang out, doesn't come when she's called, and I have to wait till nighttime to use my flashlights to find her glowing eyes in order to find out where she's at. Zapotek, on the other hand, she comes running when I call her. No. Oh, shit. No. You ain't going out there, Oxamite. This is what we worked on, the path. Still need to get wire cutters for this spot here. See over there? There's the end leg. So we finished the first leg going straight across, well, swirled across the property. Then we made the end leg that goes from out there, swiggle, all through here, and then straight across there where the first pawpaw is, along the long log, where the second pawpaw is, and 2 of the 3 spice bushes. I think 1, something happened to it. And then it goes up over there to where the younger black walnut is, in the area where you and Bean were removing all that glass and garbage. But somewhere up over there, I'll show another video, it needs to loop this way too, because I marked off over there on the south side where it's going to come out along the edge, so there'll be a little bit of prairie patch, and then go back in the forest over there. So those will be 2 openings to the outside. I marked off 1 over there. We'll just briefly go to that southwest, west-southwest corner. And then the western spot where that chair was that I put, that would be a good place for a bench, good place to watch the sunset. So, opening, swirl through here, end of the trail, over here, beginning of the trail. So there'll be ways to get to the outer edge of it, because in those transitions is where there's going to be more sun, so there's going to be a bigger diversity of plants that we can grow. Right there is where the first American elderberry I found. Well, because actually I went to go to the bathroom behind there, and while I was squatting, I saw it. I'm like, whoa, there's an elderberry here. So I buried what I was done, and then farther in front of it is where it was. I caged that off, put mulch and stuff, and then I noticed some older scraggly ones possibly connected it over here. So basically, this area here, we need to pay attention to and like train some of this, because even though American elderberry can't handle as much sage as Tatarian and Japanese honeysuckle, it's native. And we'd like to work on replacing this with native shrubs. So in an area where it's a little bit more open, we can put the American elderberry. And place where it's more closed, that's where we're going to want to put the spice bush, American bladdernut, hummingbird, or summer sweet caletheria, and there's and maple leaf viburnum, and then there's a couple other ones that are other good understory shrubs that can handle dense shade. But of course, spice bush for the main understory tree and understory shrub, and pawpaw for the main understory tree, because those two are the only two that I've experienced that are deer proof. And because there's a lot of deer here, and of course no wolves or cougars to take them out, that's going to be a priority. Here's the entrance. So I'm going to work on putting rocks on either side of at least the openings where there's lawn next to it, so there'd be a clear distinction where not to mow. And then silver maple, these 4 different aged hackberries, and then one there. This here, I think, is a good area to put the purple flowering raspberry. Now, purple flowering raspberry, not only can handle, but it kind of prefers part shade, and it spreads by rhizomes, the suckering, it spreads its roots outward rather than deep. So it's not a true prairie, or it can't be a true prairie shrub or a savanna shrub. It's a woodland one. But with at my parents' house, the deer really like it. So I'm only going to plant one right now. That's what this one here is. And I'm going to put a cage around it and test to see how it will do. Here is the unique shaped pawpaw that I think would be interesting as it grows for the entrance. Okay, now I'll go over here to the end of the path. Now, this here somewhat orangey tinge to the bark. I'm pretty sure that's a white mulberry, and that's what the same with those two in there be. So those all have to be taken out. But again, rocks along the edge, and the front few I want to get flat ones so the edge can be mowed over. Notice straw on the walkway, decaying, medium thin logs, and every now and then very decayed bigger logs. Along the edges. this area here, there was a couple medium-sized trees that fell, and I've been moving them out. And that straight ahead is a young, nice-looking tree, but it's an ash, I think a white ash. So it's pointless to let it keep going until we know that this region is clear of emerald ash borer. That, I think, is a white mulberry. There's a chance that it could be a Siberian elm, because they're close to orangey, but not as orange. Same with the ones up front. So I know they're bad guys, but I'm not exactly sure until the leaves come out whether it's the Siberian elm or a non as orangey white mulberry. And that could be because even though 98% of all mulberry trees in the Chicagoland area are of the white mulberry, because they've been here for so many generations, decades, however you want to phrase it, because I don't know the exact year that it became established, it's crossed with the red mulberry. So there's a little bit of red mulberry genes in there. But red mulberry can get a disease that's carried by white mulberry. And like I said, they hybridize. So it's hard to find a pure red mulberry. Of course, there's only a couple counties in Louisiana on the maps and doing research that I've been found that there's red mulberry and not white mulberry documented. So there still might be some crossing there, but as far as documented. Anyhow, because of those small medium trees that were removed, and because Asian honeysuckle, a tree that's doomed, and a bad tree are there, I cleared out this section in here because this is kind of a dipping area. And even though it's got high silver maple canopy, it doesn't have a thick understory tree level. And there's a hole there, which might be helpful. So right here, I think, would be a good place to plant American chestnut, because you have sandy soil in this property, and only a couple counties in central Illinois was there American chestnut. So the chestnut blight to be contagious from is slim to rare, even though there's a couple species of white oak family that can get the same blight. It's less uncommon. Anyhow, I think your property is a good potential spot to establish American chestnut. And of course, in this, filling in, because it's borderline woodland forest, I think would be a good place for American beech. But right here, this is a spot I picked out. This open. So there's the beginning of the trail. Here's the end of the trail. This open area here, I think, is a good spot to put American chestnut. Back to the trail here. Every so often, I'm going to want to put preferably a beige old pot, but also sometimes these things, just to randomly pick up glass rubbish that was thrown out here over the years in a spot where it's easily accessible. Here, I don't know if this should stay here or not. Big iron. It could be kind of a nice little bit of a walkway on this hill portion. There's two spots that, well, one fallen tree, this old telephone pole or whatever it is, and a root sticking up there that I can't really that I'm covering with straw just temporarily to make it blend in part of the path. But we need to discuss on what to go about that. If this should have more dirt piled up on to make this disappear, or it should be removed and let stay, help support the hill, or something along that lines. This open area here, that's a good place to plant pawpaws or a canopy tree that would start out as an understory tree like American beech. But to my surprise, I found another native flower last night that's growing in this woodland, and that's downy yellow violet. It usually grows in a little bit more shade than the common Serona violet. It's a little bit taller. It's not at all weedy like Serona violet is. And I think it makes a really good companion for Greek valerian, also called Jacob's stepstool by me. Oh, and at the beginning and at the end, I started with a twine to show where the path would go. Here's the first pawpaw. I think this video is getting a little bit too long for you, so I'm going to speed up now. This here, I'm going to take a chainsaw and I'm going to cut just a path just for the just to walk through. Now, up there and over there, I think adding dirt. So ideally, it would be nice if you could have a golf cart, a stroller, or a wheelchair go through here without having any inhibiting things in the path. So this should go. But the other two spots that I mentioned that I'll talk about later, we might want to just slope those out. Here's a nice opening area. This is the first opening area that we looked at for pawpaws, and there's a pawpaw right there. This is another nice opening area. 2 of the 3 spice bushes are still around. One, I don't know if it got trampled or what. But these are just little ones. This is second-year seedlings. And right up here, this is a little bit of a deer trail. And that, goes up to where the young black walnuts and things that are too close to the barn are being removed. But somewhere around here, the path needs to go this way to go along the south edge for that prairie walk. And that's what I've been working on. Today is Friday morning, 10:09-ish. And this is what your woods looks like right now.